Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing about the metabolism of proteins, a very important topic, and even everyone remembers metabolism of carbohydrates. But protein is something that is not focused upon that much. How much is carbohydrates focused upon? That's why I started with the topic of your metabolism of proteins. A lot of number of questions come from the metabolism of proteins, and in dental pulse you will find that around 50 questions are from this topic in the chapter of metabolism of proteins. So I would suggest you that after completing the video, just sit down and finish out those MCQs from your book, and I am sure you will be able to do it in less than 10 to 12 minutes and the topic will be done. Now let's start with it. Here we will be dealing with the metabolism of individual amino acids, and I'm telling you that I'll be dealing with the glycine, phenylalanine and tyrosine, their metabolism, tryptophan, that it leads to the formation of serotonin or niacin, and your methionine and your branch chain amino acids, and your histidine, proline, arginine, your lysine, your glutamic acid, glutamine, aspartic acid and asparagine, as well as alanine, serine and threonine. Your individually I'll be taking every amino acid, what are the MCQs that are asked with respect to that amino acids, and what are the concepts that are related to that amino acids we'll be discussing. Fine. So first of all we come to the glycine, and glycine is basically a non-essential amino acid. Non-essential amino acid is someone that is not required in your diet. Means that is formed here or there in the body, and this is essentially something that is not present in the diet, and you have to take essential amino acid in the form of your supplements or your juices or something in the form of your tablets. But glycine is a non-essential amino acid, and another thing you have to remember that it is a glycogenic amino acid. So you have to remember which amino acid is your glycogenic, which is ketogenic, and which is both glycogenic as well as ketogenic. Glycine is synthesized from the serine by the enzyme serine hydroxymethyl transferase. So the question can be asked that glycine is formed from which amino acid, that is your serine. Since it is formed from the serine, glycine is a non-essential amino acid. So another question that they can ask you with respect to the glycine is that glycine is present in heme. So glycine is an important structure for your heme. Glycine is an important structure for your glutathione. Glycine is formed from serine. So these are the questions that come out from the pool of the glycine basically, and rest you should be knowing just an overview that glycine is going to form creatine or purine or oxalate protein, but yeah, MCQs from these 4 points are most commonly asked. So you can very well appreciate from this that this serine in the presence of serine hydroxymethyl transferase is going to give you a glycine, and this is a reversible reaction. So glycine is formed from serine and is a non-essential amino acid. So metabolic disorder of glycine, basically what happens when there is a disorder in your glycine. So there will occur glycinuria. When glycine is not metabolized, it leads to the glycinuria, and it is believed that glycinuria is due to the defective renal absorption, and as a result of which, when glycine is not absorbed properly, it is excreted in the urine, and glycinuria has got increased tendency towards the formation of oxalate renal stones. Another thing that can happen is your primary hyperoxaluria, means there is increased urinary oxalate resulting in oxalate stones, and the oxalosis or oxalate stones are deposited in the various tissues. So the question can be asked that oxalosis is the metabolic disorder of your glycine. Glycinuria is a metabolic disorder of glycine. Here we come to the next amino acid, that is your phenylalanine and tyrosine. So another thing that can be asked, that which of the following is an aromatic amino acid. Aromatic amino acid are the ones that are having the benzene ring. Phenylalanine and tyrosine are your aromatic amino acid, and phenylalanine is an essential amino acid while tyrosine is a non-essential amino acid. The only function of phenylalanine is conversion to the tyrosine. Phenylalanine is an essential because it is required in the diet, but tyrosine is not an essential amino acid because phenylalanine itself gets converted into tyrosine. So you don't require tyrosine separately in your diet, and this phenomena is known as pairing action of tyrosine on phenylalanine. So the question can be asked that which of the following is an essential amino acid, which of the following is a non-essential amino acid, and which shows the sparing action of the tyrosine on your phenylalanine. That is that phenylalanine gets readily converted to your tyrosine. So tyrosine is incorporated into the proteins and is involved in the synthesis of variety of compounds. So this question can be asked that tyrosine is going to form your epinephrine, norepinephrine. So catecholamines are formed from your tyrosine. Dopamine is formed from your tyrosine. T3 and T4 is formed. Your thyroid hormones are formed from tyrosine. Melanin, which is responsible for the pigmentation, is formed from tyrosine. So these questions can be asked that tyrosine is going to lead to the formation of your epinephrine or epinephrine, dopamine, thyroid, T3, T4, as well as your melanin. During the course of degradation of phenylalanine and tyrosine are converted to the metabolites which can serve as a precursor for the synthesis of the glucose as fat. That is why it is known as both glycogenic and ketogenic. It gets end product in the form that are used for the formation of glucose as well as that are used for the formation of the fat. So they can ask you that which of the following is your both glycogenic and ketogenic amino acid. I have told you the mnemonic for it will be PIT2, that is phenylalanine, isoleucine, tyrosine and tryptophan. And tyrosine, that's why is known as your both glucogenic and ketogenic. So here I can show you that phenylalanine, you can see it gets converted into tyrosine, and tyrosine gives the production of melanin that is responsible for the pigmentation of the skin, hair and eye. And tyrosine is responsible for dopamine. Tyrosine is responsible for your catecholamines, that is epinephrine and norepinephrine, as well as your thyroid hormones, that is T3 and T4. So conversion of phenylalanine to the tyrosine takes place by the enzyme your phenylalanine hydroxylase. It is an irreversible reaction. You can see here in the picture that phenylalanine hydroxylase is going to convert phenylalanine to the tyrosine. Due to the defect in the phenylalanine hydroxylase, if there is a defect at this point, it leads to a disorder that is known as phenylketonuria. So the question that can be asked is that phenylketonuria is due to the deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme. There is stopped conversion of phenylalanine to the tyrosine. That is why phenylalanine is more excreted in the urine, and that disease is known as phenylketonuria. Another question can be asked like this, and I can show you somewhat focused picture, that is phenylalanine is not converted into tyrosine due to the deficiency of enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. So phenylketonuria is associated with your phenylalanine. So you can appreciate, I think so, in the picture that here your tyrosine residue gets converted into T3 and T4. Here you can appreciate that this tyrosine is converted into your red melanin as well as your black melanin. So tyrosine is responsible for the red pigmentation as well as your black pigmentation. Some people have a little bit of the red pigmentation into the eye and other have black. So this basically gives the color red and black. And the question that can be asked is that the tyrosine is responsible for the formation of your melanin. Another question that can be asked is that albinism is because of the deficiency of which amino acid, that is tyrosine. When tyrosine is not formed, melanin is not formed, pigmentation is not there, and it leads to the disease that is known as albinism. And your mallyl acetoacetate isomerase leads to a disease, and your fumaryl acetoacetate. So individual will be discussing about individual diseases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 because of the individual enzymes. And here you can appreciate that tyrosine leads to the formation of your epinephrine as well as norepinephrine. So they can ask you that norepinephrine is converted into epinephrine in the tyrosine by the reaction that is known as adenosine methionine. So whenever the non-epinephrine is methylated, it leads to the formation of epinephrine. Clear? This thing should be clear to you. And next we move to your disorders of tyrosine metabolism. I have told you that the phenylketonuria, I have discussed about it to you that it is due to the deficiency of hepatic enzyme that is known as phenylalanine hydroxylase. And phenylketonuria causes accumulation of the phenylalanine in the tissues and the blood. Phenylalanine is diverted to the alternate pathways, resulting in the so when the phenylalanine is not converted to your basically tyrosine, then the phenylalanine is converted to the alternate pathway, leading to the excessive production of your certain other products. Suppose this is going to convert into this, but when this is blocked, this is going to form other products. So guys, phenylketonuria is due to the deficiency of hepatic enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. So here I am ending, and in the next video we will be continuing with the phenylketonuria, tyrosinemia type 1, type 2, and your neonatal tyrosinemia and your metabolism of tryptophan and rest of the video. Okay, thank you.